Hi, my name's Sailor. I scored a 178 on the LSAT and I'm a tutor with JurisPrep. And today we're going to be talking about the extreme versus moderate test on LR. So one thing that is super important to look for when you're looking at answer choices is the strength of the wording that's being used in them compared to the strength of the wording being used in the passage. If the passage is using really weak language like some or a few or many, the correct answer choice is probably going to have some type of language that matches that strength. It's not going to be most or all. Most strongly supported and must be true answer choices are usually, but not always, going to have weaker language. That's not to say that they could never have something like all or most in the answer choice, but it's usually going to be weaker language, like some or many or a few, because weaker statements are easier to prove. The same thing is true of necessary assumptions. Necessary assumptions are the bare minimum of what has to be true. So normally it's going to use weaker language, though that's not always the case. Some necessary assumptions are very strong, but this can key you in when you're between two answer choices. It's normally going to be a safer bet to pick the one that has weaker language. On the other hand, sufficient assumptions are normally going to be stronger because sufficient assumptions are sufficient to prove the conclusion true. So normally that's going to have some stronger language. Again, not always, but it's a safer bet to pick the stronger of the two answer choices in a sufficient assumption scenario. It's always important to be aware of and pay attention to the strength of the language used in the passage and in the answer choices when you're making decisions on the LSAT. The strength of the wording that's being used can mean the difference between the correct and the wrong answer. If you have any other questions about the LSAT, click the link in our bio for a free consultation with the JurisPrep tutor.